Hi everyone, Dr. Chris here. Welcome to the Healthy Lifestyle Series Part 4. This week it's all about avoiding overstimulation. So how do you avoid overstimulation? What is overstimulation? It's a bit of a buzzword at the moment, but I think it is important, particularly obviously for all of us, for children in particular, teenagers. But overstimulation involves a couple of different factors that can interfere with the function of our brain. Overstimulation often leads to anxiety, insomnia, issues with learning and concentration and memory. To be overstimulated means to be constantly switched on in our brain. How does that happen? It happens obviously because our modern world involves a lot of technology, a lot of screen time, and a lot of things happening in our world all at once that require our attention. It's often important to switch that off in order to de-stimulate and to be able to rest, recover, and have a good night's sleep. That often involves things like reducing stimulants, so whether it be physical, chemical, or emotional stimulants. The physical stimulants are things like screen time, so reducing the use of screens at least half an hour before bed can really help. We obviously have blue light filters which help with melatonin production, which I spoke a little bit about in the last video on sleep. But melatonin is our sleep hormone. It's super important in order to be able to get a good night's sleep. And to produce enough melatonin, we need the right environment. One of those environments is about reducing screen time. So making sure we're not getting exposure to artificial screens half an hour before bed can really help reducing overstimulation of the brain and getting that quality sleep that we all need. The next part of overstimulation is about chemical overstimulation. The most common that we all, or many of us, use is caffeine. The amount of coffee that we all can tolerate is different for every individual, but the upper limit's about 200 milligrams. Some of us, it can't be that much, otherwise we won't sleep properly. And so making sure you don't have more than 2 cups of coffee a day or 3 to 4 cups of tea a day is important, to also reducing stimulation of the brain, to reduce anxiety, to improve quality of sleep. Keep in mind caffeine can last in the system up to 12 hours, and so keeping your caffeine intake before midday can really help to make sure that the brain isn't overstimulated at night time, and then you're not waking up feeling like you've been hit by a bus and you haven't rested. The brain is allowed to fully rest. The last part of overstimulation is about emotional overstimulation. So that can be a real work in progress for many of us. It's about anxiety, it's about worry, it's about reducing those things to reduce emotional overstimulation. There are lots of tricks and tips around reducing emotional overstimulation, but one of them can be, prayer, meditation, exercise, deep breathing, whatever works for you to try and reduce emotional overstimulation, to also improve the quality of your sleep. Memory, concentration is also linked into that as well. So I hope that's helped you all about overstimulation, and I look forward to seeing you as part 5 of this Healthy Lifestyle series.